so much. Appreciate that. Oh, well, they make good cakes. That's why they keep bringing me back, right? Well, today we're gonna keep it light. I'm gonna do a little bit of cake, cupcake decorating. You guys like cupcakes? All right. And after that, I'm going to actually tell my story a little bit about how I became the cake boss. I promise I'll try not to be too boring. And then we're gonna do some questions. All right, does that sound good? All right, so why don't we start with some cupcakes, huh? All right. Let me get my cupcakes up here. How we feeling tonight, huh? And I also want to wish a happy birthday to Hunter. I know Hunter's somewhere, right? Hey, Hunter, how you been? Happy birthday, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you, Rusty. Appreciate that. All right, now let's get down to business. Let's do some cake decorating. All right. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna put a little green around. And if you notice, the trick here is putting the cupcake on top of the turntable. The turntable does all the work. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the red, right? And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How's that? Not bad. Bada bing, bada boom. Huh? Like that? All right. How about we give this to the birthday boy, Hunter, huh? What do you think, man? Happy birthday. Thank you. I don't have anything to sign. What? All right. All right, we're going to stop the show. I'm going to sign this now.
I love your show. I watch it all the time.
I love you, sweetheart. Thank you. Ooh, sorry. Thank you. All right. So now, I'm going to do it one other time. I'll show you a different one now. Who likes, let me show you. Who likes sunflowers? Sunflowers is actually one of the easier ones to do. Because you do the same thing with the green, and then you take a leaf tip, and you just kind of like pull and squeeze around a little, like that. And then we'll take a little chocolate. All right. What do you think? Not bad? All right. And this one I'm going to give to my friend Gracie over here. How you doing? Actually, Gracie came to visit me in my bakery. We made a cake together, so she's the best. All right. And you know, doing the show has been awesome because we've inspired a lot of people to do different things, and being able to inspire people to want to go into baking and cooking and stuff like that. It's important to me, you know, to be able to do that. Yeah. How's the cupcake, dude? Good? It's good? I'm sorry, he's gonna have red teeth for a little bit, but it'll wash out, I promise. All right, so now I'm gonna do a quick one here, right? So just watch how this goes around, up, 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 and then we shake a little, right? Not bad. All right. Now let me show you if I can do it quick. Want to see it done fast? All right, because that wasn't fast. Let's see what I can do. Ready? Go. Wrong way. All right. That's so you know there's no camera tricks. All right, on Cake Boss. All right. All right, or how about this one? This is one of my favorites. How's that? Not bad? No, I'm gonna make it look easy. I'm gonna do it blindfolded for you. All right, then it's gonna look easy. All right, you gotta do me a favor. You gotta pass me this too. All right, let's put that there. And again, I don't like to show off, but coincidentally, I have a blindfold right here. You know, I don't like to do that. Coincidentally. Okay. Wait. Okay, I'm ready. Okay. Okay. Huh? Not bad, not bad. Alrighty. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So now I'm going to come and tell you a little bit of my story. All right? And I'm going to give you the shortened down version because I could be here all night. All right. But how about a cupcake for you? How about one for you? Okay, how about for you? And you're wearing an I Love Buddy t-shirt, of course. I'm gonna give one to you. All right, so it started when I was a young boy. Hi, how are you? It's so cute. I was 11 years old, and I wanted to. My dad actually took me to the bakery to go to work. I'll never forget it because when I went, I was like, Dad, am I gonna make cakes or pastries or cookies? And he brought me in the bathroom and he said, you're gonna clean the toilet bowl. And I was like, really? True story, it's a true story. And I didn't understand why then he wanted me to do that, but I understand now. Because he wanted me to, two things. First off, he wanted to show the other employees that just because I was his son, I wasn't gonna get special treatment. And the second reason was he wanted me to understand what it was like to be the guy who cleaned the toilet bowl. You know, because today I have a lot more admiration and respect as being a boss. And, you know, so I was like, all right, no problem. I cleaned the toilet bowl. And, you know, he told me something. He said, whatever you do in life, you have to take the same pride in everything you do. Whether it's scrubbing a toilet bowl, whether it's making a cake, whether it's the truth, yeah. He told me because he says if you do that, everything you do will be great. Because you take pride in it and you want it to be good. So I wanted to be a baker, and when I was about 15 years old, I realized that it was my dream job. And this is important, especially for you young guys out there, because I feel like it's so important to find something you love to do. And because I have my dream job, I feel like I'm successful. I mean, if you go to work every day and you're like, man, I gotta go there, how are you ever gonna get ahead? But when you go to work and you're like excited to go and you wanna do things, you wanna actually change the world, whatever it is that you do. You know, I used to dream about going to work and saying, I wanna change the world in the baking sense, like from a cake decorating standpoint. I wanna do things that are impossible. You know, that was the idea. That was always what I wanted to do. And it started through the cake decorating, because I was about 15 years old. When I do a cake, I go into what I call a zone. And I just, you know, I step back, I don't hear anything, I forget all my problems, any pains, nothing. I'm just me and the cake. And I give everything I got into it, my heart, my soul. And then you finish it and you snap out of it and you step back and you look at what you created and you get a feeling of self-worth, a feeling of like, wow, this is amazing. You know, and I wanted that feeling for the rest of my life. So I decided, I said, Dad, you know what? I want to be like you. I want to be a baker. I love doing this. And I was on track to be a baker. And unfortunately, when I was 17, my dad died. When he died, I had to actually drop out of school to go take over the bakery. And it was tough. I mean, I lost my dad, I lost my best friend, and you know, there was a lot of, I had 40 people depending on me to grow up and be the boss. I was a kid. I mean, I was 3 weeks after my 17th birthday. And I realized something there. Respect is something that you can't buy. It's something you can't get because you're somebody's son. Respect is something you have to earn. And you have to earn it through hard work. You know, and I had employees that had been working with my dad for 30 years. They don't want to listen to a 17-year-old kid. But I had to work hard to show them that I was going to be the first one there, the last one to leave, and that I actually was worthy of being the boss by what I could do, by the way my mind worked, by the fact that I wasn't afraid to scrub the toilet bowl, or that, you know, I was really faster than anyone, or I looked at things in a different way. And when somebody knew more than me, I knew how to humble myself to them and you know, say, please teach me. So that's what I did. It was about 6 months after my dad died and things were crazy. A switch went on. Like, I call it a switch in my life, because I said to myself, no matter what, I'm not gonna fail. I'm gonna make this happen. No matter what the obstacles are, whether I have to live and die at this bakery every day and 7 days a week, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. And you know, after about 2 years, things started to get better. I really got good. My employees were really respected me. The business was going good. And I said, you know, how am I going to put my spin on this? Like, you know, how can I make this my own? And it was through the cake decorating. So I said to one of my suppliers, I said, send me a bucket of fondant stuff. Well, let me see it. And he sent it to me, and I started to teach myself. I started to get, and when I would do it, it didn't come out right. I rip it off and do it again. Rip it off, do it again. I'm a little obsessive compulsive, just a little. But I like that, I use it to my advantage, you know what I'm saying? You gotta use some of those things to your advantage. And I started to get good. I put a beautiful cake in a window. Lady walked by one day and she said, I work for Modern Bride magazine. She said, your cake is beautiful. I would love to feature it in a magazine. I was like, oh my God, like, you know, it was like a dream come true for me, you know? So, of course, I went to the photo shoot with a big, beautiful cake. And then, you know, I had a couple bags of cannolis and pastries and cookies and crumb cake, because I figure I'm gonna butter the editors up, you know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, editors like to be buttered up, because it worked. Because I was in that same magazine for 3 years straight, every single issue. Yeah. And I was in over 200 different publications in a 10-year period before I was even Cake Boss. So, you know, we were getting a lot of notoriety. And you know what? It's funny, because my mom tells me the story when I was in first grade. My teacher came to me and she said, buddy, you didn't do good on this test. And I said to her, do you like cake? I said, can I bring you good? My mother said, you were trying to bribe your first grade teacher to give you a good grade. It was kind of like what I did with the editors, but it worked. It worked. I get a kick out of that story. I get a cake, yeah, I get a kick out of it. No, she didn't get a cake. She didn't want to give me a good grade. You know, she didn't pay up. I was like, you know what, nah. But, so after I was in the magazines, I got on a show called, because Food Network Challenge, I don't know if you ever heard of the show, right? All right, cool. Well, they would look in the magazines to try to find the best bakers in the country. Guess what? I was in the magazines all the time. So they called me. But at the time, I didn't think I was like gonna be on television. That wasn't the idea. The idea was like to compete, because I'm a good baker, I know what I could do, and let me show my creativity to the world. It was more of a ego thing, we'll say it like that, right? It was about being able to go and compete and do it. So I went on Food Network Challenge, and it was the third challenge I was on. And that's where it really changed my life. Because it was a wedding cake challenge, and at the time I was a wedding cake baker. So for me, there was like no problem. I actually finished 2 hours early, and I'm looking at all the cakes. I did. I was actually having coffee, and I'm looking at the other cakes, and I'm saying, I killed them. They're falling over. My cake was flawless, perfect. I even made a groom's cake because I had time. I was like, I got some time. So, guess what? I lost. I did. Boo. I should have won. Hey, look, I'm big enough to stand up here and tell you if I should have won. If I didn't deserve to win that challenge, I would tell you. But it's funny because even though I lost that challenge, I really won. And you're gonna understand why in a minute when I get back to the point. So I'm in the kitchen cleaning up, and motherfucker, son of a, you can improvise and know what I was saying, right? And a camera guy who filmed me all day comes inside and says to me, you know, buddy, you were great today. And I said, yeah. I said, how did I lose? I said, I shouldn't have lost. He goes, not your cake, you. I said, Tony, what are you talking about? He goes, buddy, you pop off camera. You're charismatic. He goes, you need a television show. And I started thinking, maybe I do need a television show. You know, like I never had thought of it like that. I didn't think of it. So I started thinking, I said, you know, I have a 100-year-old bakery. I do these giant cakes. I got a big crazy family. I think it could be funny. I go to work and I laugh. I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. Like, you know, I'm like, I think people would actually laugh at what happens in my day every day. It really was the idea. So I had to go home and talk with my wife because I didn't want to hear her say another one of your scams or another one of your bright ideas, you know? So I'm telling her, I'm like, you know, Lisa, the guy Tony told me I was really good and I should get a television show. And I kind of like rolled over. She turned around to me and she goes, you will. And I was like, what? And she says, well, I almost hate you for it. She said, but anything you set your mind to, you accomplish. She said, you don't know how to fail. She said, and if you really want this, it's gonna happen. She goes, I've never met anybody as determined as you about anything they do. If you say you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it. So she says, if you want it, you can do it. So now I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a TV show now. So I call up Food Network, I'm like, look, I got your next hit TV show. Me, my family, 100-year-old bakery. And I said, buddy, we just signed a cake show. And they said, keep doing challenge. They said, don't worry. So I was like, oh man, somebody beat me to the punch, you know? So I watched the other show air. And I said, my show's different. I called them back, I'm like, come on, give me a chance. And they were like, buddy, we love you, but just keep doing challenge. So I was kind of like depressed and I was like mad, like what am I gonna do? But then TLC was looking for a cake show. So they told bakers in America, we want to do a cake show. And coincidentally, they would send in tapes of themselves to try to get the show. Well, the person who won the third challenge that I did sent the tape in to get herself the show. True story. And when they got the tape, they said, who's that guy? And they called me up. They're like, we saw a tape of you, and they're like, we're interested in doing a cake show. What do you think? True story. One day, the phone rings at the bakery. They're like, buddy, TLC's on the phone for you. I'm like, who? And they're like, the television channel. And they're like, yeah. They're like, well, what do you think? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I had a great idea. I said, I just want to do a show about my bakery and my family. I make these crazy cakes. I said, well, do me a favor. Take a camcorder, run it through the bakery, and send it to LA. So I did. The next day they called me. They're like, we want you. Who's your agent? I'm like, me. At that time, I was my own agent. That's what I was, And, all right, so that was in December of 2008. So when we aired, since then, we've done over 250 episodes of Cake Boss, over 100 Next Great Baker. We've done 80 Kitchen Boss. We've done 13 Bakery Rescue. The show is aired in over 220 countries all over the world. It's dubbed in 45 languages, and it's been seen by over 1.5 billion people. Is that crazy? And so sometimes I want to pinch myself because I'm like, is this real? But the truth of the matter is that anything is real. You just have to want it. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you can make it happen, and you have to go after it. You know, I tell people I'm proof of a dream. It's just the way it happened. I didn't wake up one day and hit the lotto and become the cake boss. It's been years of work and what I've been able to do, being my own PR person, from going to the magazines, to going to be on television, to being good with the producers and trying to always do different things. Yeah, you got to stick with your dream. But it's been such an amazing journey. And when I travel and I see people from all walks of life, and people tell me that my show inspires them to want to bake, or I hear a mom tell me that my show brings her and her family together for a half an hour each week, or I hear somebody who's been sick and my shows help them get through hard times. It means a lot more to me than just television. It means that it's touching people in different ways. So honestly, I just want you guys to know a little bit more about really who I am. That means so much to me, and you guys mean so much to me. So thank you. How about some questions, Rusty?
Perfect. We got some questions right over here. I'm going to jump over here really quick. We have a gentleman right here that's got a question.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Good. Why aren't you on Netflix anymore?
Oh, that is a good question. But just so you guys know, that has nothing to do with me. That's between Discovery Networks, who owns TLC, and Netflix. But I will tell you one thing. When we were on Netflix, we were the #1 viewed show on Discovery. Yeah, I want to get back on Netflix, man. If you talk to them, tell them, say I said so. Tell them what's going on, what's the problem.
Buddy, we have another one over here to your right. You can barely see us.
Please.
Do you think any of your children are going to follow in your footsteps?
That's a good question. Because honestly, my dad always said to me, when he brought me to the bakery, he never said you have to be a baker. He says, son, you have to learn to be a man. You have to learn to come and work. You got to learn work ethic. Because even whether you work for me or you work for someone else, you have to bring value. You have to show somebody that what you do makes a difference. And just coincidentally, I wanted to be in a bakery, and I'm going to do the same exact thing to my kids, where they have to learn the work ethic part, but I want them to be happy in life. So, I mean, look, secretly, yeah, do I wish they want to come into the bakery? I'm not going to lie to you guys, of course. But I want them to, get the full experience and do what they love.
Okay, over here, buddy.
Yep.
Hi, buddy.
Hi.
I teach 500 art students, and a lot of them express that they want to get into designing cakes and be a better designer and baker. What words of advice can you give them?
Well, I gotta be honest, cake decorating to me is an art. It's my kind of, when I put a cake up there, it's my canvas. It's just different. I believe that, if somebody wanted to go into the bakery business, and they said, should I go to culinary school or should I do this? I tell people, before I would go to culinary school, I would go work in a bakery. Even if you gotta work for free. I would say, listen, because it's different baking at home as a hobby, because you might like it or whatever, but when you have to do it every single day, when you have to work your weekends, when you have to work your holidays, because that's when you're busy, things change. But if you see that it's what your career is that you want to do, then you go to culinary school, spend the money, and okay, what's the difference? What you're gonna learn in culinary school, you don't learn in the bakery. And what you learn in the bakery, you don't learn in culinary school. What does that mean? Exactly. Well, if you go to culinary school and you learn how to make an apple pie, do you really know how to make the apple pie? You were shown one time by your professor, you made one apple pie, and you're gonna forget it. But when you go to a bakery and you work Thanksgiving and you make 500 apple pies, you know it. Now, but what's the benefit of the school? They're not gonna tell you the science behind the baking. They're gonna tell you, you know, what's the chemical reaction between the baking powder that's making the cake rise, or what's the protein content in bread flour versus, you know, pastry flour. That's the stuff that you got to learn in school. You want to learn the science of baking at the schools where you don't learn that at a bakery. And when you're working with an old baker, well, how come you mix it that long? That's what we do. You know, it's not because you're trying to activate the glutens in the flour or whatever. So, you know, I think if I could do it all over again, that's would have been my recommendation.
Okay, buddy, back over here.
Hey.
How's your mom doing?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking. For those of you who don't know, my mom is battling ALS, which is a horrible, debilitating disease. Considering that she's got ALS, I think she's doing okay. She still has her speech. She still has her breathing, no problems yet. And she's had it for almost 8 years now. And in ALS terms, that's amazing. So I try to look at the glass half full rather than half empty. But all the prayers that we've gotten from the fans has been amazing. Like, you know, that's all I could ask you guys to keep doing is pray for her. You know, and listen, ALS or not, she calls me every day and yells at me and tells me, what are you doing? I'm in Syracuse. Is it cold there? Not too cold. Do you have a scarf? Yeah, but I got a scarf. I'm 38 years old, Mom, with four kids. Come on. But I love her a lot, and she's a trooper. So, thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, buddy, we got a question right over here.
Yeah.
How much do you travel?
Too much. You talk to my wife, she'll really tell you too much. Let's say it like this. Last year, I think I had 300,000 air miles. Last year. But I do what we call suicide missions, all right? Then I always invite my wife to come. But I'll be like, all right, Lisa, I gotta go to Europe next week, and I'm gonna go to Amsterdam, Poland, France, Hungary, Romania, and I'm leaving on Saturday and I'll be back Thursday. And I'll be on 8 planes in 5 days, and you know, and you don't even know where you are, so you don't even, the time zone doesn't even matter. And even, you don't care what time it is or where you are, you're just there and it's whatever. I mean, I've been to Australia for 3 days. Fly out to Australia, on the ground for 3 days. I've been to South Africa for 30 hours. 17 hours on a plane, down for 30, back on a plane, 17 hours. So, well, the reason I do that is because I try to stay, I want to spend time with my family. So I try not to let my work interfere with that. You know, I try to at least have 1 day off during the week with my kids, usually Sunday. Actually, yesterday went to the Giants game, so it was good. And hey, everyone! Come on, you did a New York Giants, right? Hello. Are we in Ireland? Where are we? We're in New York. Can't be a New York hater. Like, I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm rooting for the Mets. All right? I mean, you know, if the Bills were in it, I'd root for them. It's a home team. So, but you know, traveling. I usually go. This month I was gone for about a week. So no more than a week a month, I would say, where I travel. Might be 2 days here, might be 1 day here, might be this, might be that. But I try to balance it.
Question right over here, buddy.
Yep.
How much frosting do you use a day?
Oh, that's a good question. So I know that we go through about 5 tons of sugar a week at the bakery. So, all right, so we have 11 bakeries open right now. I also have a restaurant. I have another one opening this year. I have a production company, so we film our own television and stuff like that. So I have over 1,000 employees. So it's like, I'm always somewhere. Thank you.
Right over here, buddy.
Yeah.
What was your favorite cake you ever made?
Oh, that's a good question. My favorite was a Transformer cake. That was my favorite one. But I like the one of my wife too. And not because it didn't come out that good, but it was the first one we ever did. I think we're due for a remake on that, so, you know, yeah. She didn't hurt me, you're right. But listen, if you're gonna make a cake of your wife, you gotta be a brave guy, because you put a little extra fondant on, she looks fat. You carve the cupcakes wrong, you could be in big trouble. You gotta be very careful. But, you know, I remember that morning going to work, and I'm like, give me a hug, I'm going to work. And I couldn't measure her. So I'm like this, I'm trying to, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I just love you. That's so funny. It was funny.
Here we go. You can't see this guy, but he's down here.
Hey.
How big was your biggest cake?
The biggest cake, wow. You know, I keep saying that I want to set a world record. So we're gonna definitely have to make a cake where we set a world record. But the biggest cake so far has been the NASCAR, which was a size which is about almost 18,000 pounds. It was nuts. It was a pretty wild cake. I think it took 56 people 4 days to make it. It was like 10,000 pounds of cake, like 3,000 pounds of icing, like 5,000 pounds of fondant, and it probably took about 2 years off my life. Give or take. Yeah.
Buddy, we're over here to your left behind the speaker. You can't see us.
Yeah.
Have you ever made a lighthouse cake?
A lighthouse. Like we did make a lighthouse cake. We did a lighthouse. I wouldn't remember the season, you know, but we definitely did do a lighthouse cake. Well, maybe we're due for another one, so, you know.
Here we go, buddy.
I have 2 questions. 1, do you memorize your recipes? And 2, have you ever considered having like junior cake bakers, like on the show?
Good questions, good questions. First question is I do have a lot of my recipes memorized. You know, the ones that I've done or that I learned at an early age or I did all the time, those I still do, and I could shoot some off like that. But I always double check with the book just to be safe. As far as Next Great Baker Junior, I would love to do that. Actually, I wanted to do that, and I've been saying that I want to do that. I guess we're gonna have to talk to TLC, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to do something because, honestly, I see some of the work that some of these kids do, and they're amazingly talented. My friend Gracie here, she's gonna be a baker one day, all right?
Buddy, over here to your right.
All right.
Hi, buddy. I was wondering how many cakes you make a day.
Let me give you a weekly stat. I'll give you a couple good numbers, right? So in an 8-hour shift, we can have 7 people, and we can do 25,000 cupcakes. And well, that's the way my mind is programmed, because I look at systems, right? And I want to see how can we make them better or faster. How can you become more efficient? You look at cupcakes, right? You say, so what's the choke point? Choke point, it should be the ovens. So how many pans that you can get in and out of the oven within an hour, right? So you have to make sure that you have the manpower to be pumping out the amount of cupcakes to choke the oven. Rack goes in, rack goes out. So cakes, we probably do about 600 birthday cakes a week, probably 50 to 100 wedding and specialty crazy ones. Know what? I got carpal tunnel big time. My forearm is like, forget it. Years ago, remember, fondant is new, okay? Every single cake was buttercream, okay? I used to squeeze, and we keep it in the garbage cans, and we even did that then. I used to squeeze like 3 garbage cans full of buttercream through a little tip. I would go home like this. I couldn't even move. Oh my God, it was tough. But yeah, the trick with buttercream is you got to make it and use it. So if you let the buttercream sit, it's no good. If it sits for a while, then you have to reconstitute it. You have to mix it up a little bit. So sometimes my buttercream when I decorate a cake is like shaving cream. It makes me a better cake decorator. It's a little tricks like that. Yep. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, God bless you. So you know buttercream.
I know buttercream, royal icing, and I got called in to take a job in the Bay after I graduated from high school.
Oh, I love it.
And I went to my father wanted me to take the secretary job. That's what I studied in high school. So,
Why don't you give her the microphone?
Hey, buddy, I've made a computer cake, pregnant lady cake, the
Oh,
old-fashioned rabbit cake, and every part of the cake is edible.
I like
Can
that.
you teach me how to make a rose?
To make a rose, let me see if I can make one quick for you. I'll show you how it's done.
Yep, he's coming back. Yes, guy. You have the microphone? Oh, she's too close.
All right. Ready? Oh, excuse me.
This lady wants to finish.
Go ahead, ask your question, sweetheart.
yeah, go ahead.
Talk to me. I'm listening to you.
My dad wanted me to take a job in high school instead of being in the bakery. So I went for one day, came back, the next day I walked in the bakery.
Well, God bless you. That
Go to my basement, immaculate, and they knew I had made wedding cakes, right to me.
And her granddaughter's learning
how to
She
do.
wants- She wants to open a bakery. So I know you helped out at Ilian Bakery,
Yes, I did.
and do you do that often? Or
Uh,
do you do any bakery startups?
We do. You know, we're talking about maybe a bakery startup show. So we got to do. You know what the problem is? Is people always ask me, well, why don't you do that show anymore? Why? It's not. It's what happens. The demand comes from all over the world. So if I have to, right now we're doing Cake Boss. So we're doing 40 of them. So that's like a year. You know, so it's like, you know, and then well, after we're done with that, I'm actually going to potentially go into either Next Great Baker or Bakery Rescue again. So it's like, you know what I want to do again, and it keeps getting pushed off because it's daytime, is the cooking show. I don't know if any of you guys like the cooking show. I love the cooking show. I love doing it, you know, so hopefully we get to do more of that. So,
Buddy, we have a question right here.
yep.
Hi, I know you and your family travel every once in a while. Is there a possibility you'll be at Disney at Christmas?
I'm going to actually be in Disney next week. I'm going for Food and Wine. I go there every year for Food and Wine. I'm a featured chef, so you know I'm going to be there then. Sorry. We do cake decorating classes in Lackawanna, and if you get that, there's like a little tour and stuff like that. That's probably, we don't do really tours of the bakery, but if you go to the factory class, they give you a little tour of the factory. It's an awesome class too.
Right here, buddy.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do the Next Great Baker again?
Well, we're talking about that now. We're trying to figure out my schedule and stuff like that. Actually, I filmed a show in Brazil over July, Actually, my family came with me. I was out there for a month, and the show aired in Brazil, and it was on like the equivalent to like a Channel 2 here. 50 million people watched the premiere. It's pretty crazy. So, yeah, I got a couple fans in Brazil. Yeah.
We got a question right here, buddy.
Because the cakes are so like big and elaborate, how do you know where to cut into them without making it look like?
You know, you always try to know where the little spot is, where it looks like you're not going to do too much damage, you know. But you know, people ask me all the time, do you have like sticker shock of you know, of cutting the cake? After all these cakes and all these years, I can't wait for someone to cut into my cake and taste it and be like, hey, it really tastes good, you know. So I love it when they cut the cakes. I'm not worried about that anymore.
Okay, buddy, we're getting a question over here. 1 second.
You got it.
What was your most detailed cake you've ever made?
It's coming up. It's coming up. Actually, I made my my assistant's wedding cake. It was actually here with me somewhere. Oh, she's over here. And she had a 10-tier cake. And right? It was a beautiful cake. And you know, God bless her, to say it like that. Anybody who wants me goes through her. So a long time ago, I said, I don't want to know what I have to do. I just want to do it. So, like, I don't know what I have to do tomorrow. She's going to tell me, you know, we're on the way home. What time do I have to be in? 9 o'clock, you got to be camera ready. That's it. Now, anything else, she takes care of. And let me tell you, there is emails and people and production and this and that. And my Google Calendar is like a panic attack.